She was born in a quiet town where nothing much changed. The streets always smelled faintly of bread and rain. The people greeted each other the same way, day after day. And in this town, beauty was a currency, spoken in glances, measured in whispers, and weighed heavier than kindness. Her name was Mira. She wasn't the kind of girl people noticed. Her face was plain, her figure unremarkable. She didn't wear colors that made people look twice. At school, she sat in the third row, near the window, where the sunlight pulled on the desk but rarely warmed her spirit. No one was cruel to her. They were simply uninterested. She wasn't invited to the parties. She wasn't asked to dance. And when she raised her hand, the teacher would hesitate, as if surprised she had something to say. But Mira had a secret. Every evening, when the world stopped watching, she filled pages. Her little notebook, with its frayed corners and bent spine, held her real self. In those pages, she was fierce. She wrote stories about quiet girls who changed nations, about mothers who rebuilt broken cities, about hearts that didn't need to be beautiful to be brave. She wrote until the moon was high and her fingers ached. It started with one story. She slipped it anonymously into the school newspaper submission box. No name, just ink. The story was about a girl who no one noticed, until one day, she stood up in a burning room and let everyone out. Quietly. Without needing thanks. The story spread faster than gossip ever had. For the first time, people looked at her differently. Not quite recognition, more like curiosity. A few students whispered that they wished they knew who wrote it. A teacher asked the class, "Do you know who might have submitted this?" Mira said nothing. She wasn't ready to be seen. Instead, she wrote again. Each story carried a whisper of herself, a little piece she had tucked away, her pain, her hope, her strength. And slowly, something changed. Not outside. Inside. She stopped shrinking. She started raising her hand, not hoping to be picked, but knowing she had something worth saying. She volunteered answers. She joined the debate team. People still didn't call her pretty. But now, they called her capable. Smart. Driven. It didn't matter that her name wasn't stitched onto anyone's lips with admiration. She had stopped waiting for approval. One afternoon, a girl from the popular group, a girl with glossy hair and magazine eyes, sat beside her in the library. She looked nervous. "I think you wrote those stories," she said. "The ones in the paper." Mira didn't answer. "I just wanted to say, they helped me. I thought I was strong until I read them. Then I realized I was only loud." Mira smiled softly. That was all. Years passed. Mira left the town behind. She went to university on a scholarship no one had expected her to win. She studied literature and psychology. She sat in the front row now. She spoke clearly. People listened. She didn't chase attention, but somehow, it found her. By 27, she had published 2 books, collections of quiet stories about people who held the world together in unnoticed ways. Bookstores placed her books near their entrance. Not because her face sold copies, but because her words moved people. At one of her readings, an old classmate approached her. He was taller now, his arrogance softened by time. "I don't remember you being this powerful," he said, awkwardly holding her book. Mira looked at him kindly. "I always was. You just weren't looking in the right places." There was no anger in her voice. Only truth. And that was her power. She had never needed to be pretty to matter. She had never needed to sparkle to shine. She had learned that beauty fades, applause fades, even memory fades. But courage, the kind that blooms in silence, the kind that writes when no one reads, that speaks when no one listens, that lasts. So when people asked how she became who she was, Mira would smile and say, "I stopped waiting to be chosen. And I chose myself." She still wasn't called beautiful. But she was unforgettable.